as part of their BIOSSA, or Biological Science Students Association Week. The students of the Department of Biological Sciences held a BIOSSA conference on Friday, 7th August 2026 in the main auditorium of the Niger Delta University. And the theme of the conference was From Campus to Career. I was also one of the speakers at the conference.
Make welcome on stage Dr. Gijo Harry. Please, a round of applause for him as he comes on stage.
Great BIOSSA students. Great biological science students. Great Popo. Great Papa. Great Point. I had talked severally about the importance of biology. Most persons, like I said earlier, even among you, are not proud of the course you're studying. But it has a lot of opportunities, prospects that you can explore. I want to quickly remind you that as a biologist, you have the prospect of working in the Ministry of Environment. The ministry, I've seen a lot of my former students in such ministries. You can work in the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. I can attest to that fact. Some of my former students are there in that ministry. You can work in conservation organizations like the Nigerian Conservation Foundation. You can also work as a lecturer or a teacher of biology. You can work even in an oil company, the health, safety, and environment sector, and many other opportunities that are there for you. So, be proud of your course. Say, I am proud to be a biologist. So you should be proud. Biology has a lot of prospects, real prospects you can explore. So, my discussion with you today is on how you can explore opportunities or how you can make yourself relevant to the employment market. The theme of my discussion is beyond the classroom, practical learning as pathway to career success. Practical learning as pathway to career success. Yes, you have been taught or you have been learning several courses which are actually relevant to the society, and they would actually make you employable. But you also need to develop yourself to be employable. You need self-development. Just as the past speaker had done, he did not just concentrate on the course he's studying. He tried to be impactful. And he also discovered a talent he had, and he explored that talent. So you need to develop yourself. So for you to be employable in the labor market, you need to develop some skills and competencies. And the first you need to acquire to make you employable is work experience. Work experience. Some people are amazed when they hear that employers ask fresh graduates to write their work experience. Sometimes some people think it's impossible for a fresh graduate to have work experience. But it's possible for you to have work experience as an undergraduate or immediately after graduation. You can acquire work experience from your industrial training. IT. In the Department of Biological Sciences, we have industrial placement for students, and that's how it is in several departments, especially in the Faculty of Science. That industrial training gives you work experience. So it's advised you take full advantage of the training you receive during that time. And one other way you can gain work experience is by it's through your NYSC. The NYSC, the National Youth Service Corps, gives you also opportunity to learn skills, to have experience in your chosen profession. So when you have that opportunity, utilize it properly, and it also serves as work experience for you. Apart from these very necessary trainings you receive that serve as work experience for you, you can also decide to volunteer to work in certain relevant institutions or organizations. Let me tell you my experience. While I was a student here, you were already told that I was among the pioneer students, the first set of students, 2001. I know some of you were just very young, some of you may not have been, you were very young then. Okay, 2001. When I was employed, when I was an undergraduate, I already had that passion to teach. It's as if I'm copying this, my friend, but that's the truth. I had the passion to teach. In fact, even when I desired to study medicine, down in my heart, in the bottom of my heart, I had that desire to teach. I started teaching right from when I was in secondary school. I taught my classmates right from secondary school. And then when I started the university, I returned back to the secondary school I graduated from. During holidays, I went there to teach. I taught throughout my schooling years, the 4 years I spent in during my university. That was a voluntary service. I wasn't being paid. It was free of charge. But because of that passion, I taught free of charge. And the community, the students I taught, all appreciated my effort. Up to now, when some of them see me, they recount the many impacts I had in their life. So you can volunteer to teach. You can also volunteer as a conservationist. When I was a student, fortunately, I had opportunity to belong to a conservation club. One organization, the Pro-Natural International, came to my secondary school and established conservation groups. So that was where I developed the interest in biodiversity conservation. So I worked with them as a volunteer. We conserved the sea turtle, the great parrot, and the monarch monkeys in Akasa clan. That was a voluntary service. And currently, some of those things I did actually putting food on my table, especially after graduation. Fortunately, I graduated as the best graduating student, and you see I'm here as a lecturer. That passion I had is paying off. And even currently, I've been called severally by the Nigerian Conservation Foundation to engage in enlightenment campaigns. So I work part-time with the Nigerian Conservation Foundation in enlightenment, and we are currently working on something. When it's reviewed, you'll be informed. So basically, such voluntary services gives you the work experience you need. You can also volunteer in pharmaceutical companies, in research laboratories, and zoos. We don't have them anyway, but if you have zoos, you can volunteer to work there. That's where you can gather your work experience. So when you have such work experience, you place yourself in an advantaged position. So you would not need to look for information to provide to your prospective employers on work experience. So basically, that's one thing you need to be employable. Apart from having a work experience, you also need to develop certain skills skills that will enable you to be employable. And one of such skills you need to acquire is communication skill. Communication. It's very imperative you develop that skill. Make sure you learn how to speak eloquently as an undergraduate. Learn how to speak eloquently. It's not out of place if you even improve your accent. And also learn proper writing skill, report writing skills. It's very important. Most of you, or some of you, when you're given assignments, you research on. Use that as an opportunity to improve your research skills. Work closely with your supervisors. Acquire the required knowledge from them. Some of you have adopted very wrong attitudes. You don't come to see your supervisors, and some of you only come only when it's close to the project defense. At that time, you had already given your project to someone to write for you. Or some, they just pay someone else to do the work for them. It is very important you learn this skill. I worked with the Niger Delta Wetland Center, Ekeki, as the field and logistics manager. The skills I acquired as an undergraduate helped me. Shortly after my graduation in 2007 and 2008, 2007 to 2008, I worked with them in a biodiversity study. And those skills I had acquired because I wrote my project by myself, and I did many other things independently, and that helped me to be very useful then. And data analysis too. Okay, while you're doing a project, you also do data analysis. Learn those skills. Learn them now. Now is the time you're expected to do that, because after now, you will be on your own. In fact, if someone comes back to study master's degree, or master's students are not guided on that, it is expected that at that stage, you already know what to do. So it's now is the right time for you to learn that skill. One other skill you need to acquire is problem solving and creative thinking. Problem solving and creative thinking. When you are faced with a challenge, think of the solution. Don't leave it for someone else to solve. In fact, the world today needs problem solvers. Those who solve problems in the society. Those who are innovative. In fact, if you solve problems, you make money from that. So learn how to solve problems and be creative in your thinking. Then project management. Learn project management. When you're given assignments to do, make sure you do them very well. Manage the projects properly. You may have the opportunity to work part-time with someone. Make sure you also utilize that opportunity to be a good manager, because you don't know where you'll find yourself. Some organizations would make you a manager or would give you a position to handle. So that is very important. One other skill you need to acquire is self-reliance, initiative, and business awareness. Learn to be self-reliant and also have the desire to take the initiative and have business awareness. The first speaker said that sometimes what your dream may not be what will give you your means of livelihood. Fine, you're studying biology now, but you may find yourself in situations where you may find yourself in an environment where it's not possible for you to use your certificate. So what can you do? Harness skills skills, learn skills. Think of businesses you can do. Think of businesses you can do. In biological sciences, we have some courses that would enable you to earn a living, like bioentrepreneurship, introduction to bioentrepreneurship, where you learn aquaculture and snail farming. When you're learning those courses, learn them properly. There's also mushroom farming. Those are very lucrative aspects of biology. But you can also think of businesses outside biology. Think of businesses you can do outside biology. The education you acquire now is to mold, to give you a mindset that's better than those that have not come to the university. But sometimes it may not be what will put food on your table. I tell you, sometimes some persons that are into business do better than us that are lecturers. What's our take-home salary? It's not even enough for us. But when you do business, you earn more. That's why some of us have some side hustles. And sometimes those side hustles even pay more than what we get here. The side hustles pay more than what we do here. What they pay us here. So basically, it's very advisable. You have that business mindset. Think of a kind of business you can do while you wait for the white collar job. Then the next slide, please. The next slide. One other thing you can do to be employable as biologists is to think of further studies. After graduation, it is also advisable you also have the thought of going for your master's or PhD. It's not compulsory, but I tell you, it will give you an edge over others. Currently, the state government, you've noticed the state government has been employing master's degree holders, PhD holders, because we have so many higher institutions. Apart from that, when you have a higher degree, a PhD or a master's, and you apply for a position, maybe that a BSc holder also applies for, they will choose you instead of the BSc holder. Biology is just 4 years. So why not think of other extra 2 years? Think of extra 2 years you can put in to have an edge over others. After all, those who study medicine spend 5-6 years.
Thanks for watching this video. I am Dr. Gijo Harry. Please watch more of my videos from my YouTube and TikTok channels, and don't forget to subscribe and like my videos.